until you learn to command your mind, you will remain a prisoner in your own life.
This is the Enneagram Matrix Podcast, revealing the hidden connections between your personality patterns and your path of purpose. And now, your host, Stef Becker, known in the yoga tradition as Sadashiva.
Your mind controls everything. Your relationships, your career, your inner peace, your suffering, everything that matters to you is controlled by your mind. But here's the problem. While you think you are controlling it, in fact, it is controlling you. Science has irrefutable proof that 95% of your mental processing happens subconsciously, below your awareness, beyond your control, which means every decision you believe is yours, automated. Every reaction you regret later, pre-programmed. Every pattern you swore you'd break, still running right now. And until you learn to command your mind, you will remain a prisoner in your own life. For over 2,000 years, the method to command your own mind was kept secret. Guarded in temples, whispered only to those who had proven themselves worthy. Not because it was complex, but because it was considered dangerous. Dangerous to the illusion that you are powerless. Dangerous to the belief that you are trapped by who you are today. Dangerous to those who profit from your suffering. But the time has come to break that silence. And I don't do this lightly. 30 years ago, I was given instructions. Not from a book, not from a teacher. Through a direct experience I still can't fully explain, but have promised to honor. The instruction was unmistakable. Memorize the message, and when the time comes, share the teachings. I have spent the last 3 decades decoding, studying, and living what I was shown. And today I'm going to teach you the exact method the ancient yoga masters used to take back command of the mind and unlock the powers to transform your life. And to be very clear, I am not the author of this truth. The masters wrote it down over 2,400 years ago. My work was simply to translate it into the language your mind speaks today. In our last video, we explored a radical idea that your soul chose the circumstances of this life before you were even born. The family that taught you pain instead of safety, the betrayal that shattered your heart, the failure that crushed your confidence, the loss you thought you would destroy you, not random, not punishment, not cruelty. A curriculum, a soul contract built from the unfinished work of past lives, designed for your evolution in this one. And I know what you're probably thinking right now. Okay, Stef, a curriculum. I hear you, but that doesn't stop the pain. How do I stop failing the same test again and again? That is the only question that matters. Because you're right, understanding the why doesn't heal the you. For that, you need a method, a way to stop failing the tests and finally learn the lesson. The answer to that question shifts you from being a passenger tossed around by circumstances to being the conscious driver of your own transformation. And here's what you need to know. That method isn't new. Over 2,000 years ago, a yoga master named Patanjali wrote down 196 verses. Today, scholars call it the definitive guide to mastering the human mind. But Patanjali didn't waste time with philosophy. In the very first verses, he made a direct promise. Master your mind and you master your life. 4 short Sanskrit words were all it took for Patanjali to define yoga forever. Yogaha chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga is the stilling of the chaos in your mind. This isn't theory. This is instruction. This is practice. Patanjali is telling us that our suffering, our confusion, our sense of being trapped, all of it comes from what he calls vrittis. Think of your mind as a perfectly still lake. Every thought, every emotion, every reaction is like a pebble thrown into that lake, creating ripples that disturb the surface. But not all vrittis are the same. When your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are rooted in pain, fear, or ignorance, Patanjali calls them Klishta Vrittis. These are the patterns that create suffering. And your Enneagram Matrix is the blueprint of your Klishta Vrittis. Every time you repeat the same patterns, they carve deeper grooves into your soul. These grooves are called samskaras, and samskaras become the unfinished business you carry forward into your next experience, your next challenge, your next life. But when your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors come from clarity, compassion, and wisdom, Patanjali calls them aklishta vrittis. These patterns create no suffering, they leave no scars, and they build no karma. And here's the promise of spiritual yoga. Your life's purpose is to refuse the path of the Klishta Vrittis and to consciously walk the path of the aklishta ones. To choose clarity over confusion, compassion over fear, conscious action over unconscious reaction. Until the painful patterns dissolve, until no karma is created, until your mind is still, until you see your true original nature clearly in the depth of that beautiful lake. That is chitta vritti nirodha. That is how you fulfill your soul contract. This is purpose intelligence in action. Your Enneagram Matrix reveals these Klishta Vrittis with stunning precision. It shows you the exact patterns your soul chose to master in this lifetime. These ancient patterns, the ones running your life on autopilot, we give them a simple modern name. We call them saboteurs. The automated mental and emotional habits running your life without your permission. But here's Patanjali's promise, and it's the foundation for everything we do. When you learn to still those painful patterns, you don't just find relief. You discover the unshakable center that was always there, beneath the chaos. Patanjali's promise is this: to build a lighthouse within, even in the midst of the storm. Its foundation, built on solid rocks, is unshakable inner trust. Its powerful beam is clarity that cuts through the storm of your confusion. And with that light, you gain the direct knowing of where you are and where you're meant to go. And from that foundation of inner clarity, your entire outer world transforms. This is the promise I make to you today. You find a deep sense of fulfillment, not from avoiding the storm, but from skillfully navigating it. You gain the wisdom to set your own course, your own definition of success, and the power to attract the winds that will take you there. And you gain the freedom to respond to every wave with skill and purpose, instead of being thrown around by the chaos. But none of this happens by accident. It requires a method, a tool, a practice you can apply in real time, in the middle of your actual life. Today, I'm giving you that tool. Based on the instructions I received 30 years ago, I designed a method called the A.R.T process: awareness, reframe, transformation. 3 simple steps that allow you to consciously interrupt your Klishta Vrittis in real time and replace them with aklishta ones. This is how you stop being controlled by your mind and start commanding it. And this, my friends, is how you unlock your soul contract. A 2,400-year-old method. Not one option among many, but the method. Practiced by sages and seekers across millennia to reach their ultimate goal. The very same method that inspired the groundbreaking psychology of Carl Jung and fueled the visionary focus of Steve Jobs. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, Stef, this sounds great in theory, but does it actually work when the chaos is real? And that again is the only question that matters. And the answer I'm going to give you in the next video is groundbreaking. Because for the first time, you're not going to hear about the A.R.T process, you're going to see it brought to life. You will see the exact moment a saboteur patterns activate and how a single powerful truth can transform it in real time. By the end of that video, you will have a tool you can use the very next time your programming tries to take over. But the tool is useless if you don't know where to apply it. The A.R.T process works on your specific patterns, your Klishta Vrittis. And your Enneagram Matrix is the map that reveals those patterns. So, if you're serious about this work, your next step is to get your map. Go to enneagramkeys.com and take our foundational Enneagram Matrix assessment. It's free, and the link is in the description. Get your map, come back, and watch the next video where we put this tool to work. If this teaching resonated, subscribe so you don't miss that next video. And if you know someone who feels like a prisoner in their own life, share this with them. This is important inner work, and it's meant to be shared. Thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next video.